The number one problem with retirement planning research. This it's an unfortunate, but it happens all the time. And we're just gonna dive in here today. It is frustrating. We talked about this in the live stream last night, and if you're not following the live streams, where are you, amigos? So we do live streams Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, Tuesday and Thursday at noon p.m. Eastern time. So be there or be square, and you don't want to be square, do you? All right, so we're going to start with this article here from August 2022 by this guy or lady. I don't know. It's a Greek person. Greek, not that they live in Greek, but that's a Greek name. How do I know? Because my man Savas emailed me this piece, and Savas is Greek. I said, "Is that a Greek name?" And Savas said, "Yes, it is." I want to go to Crete one day. Never been. Would like to go, but I probably never will. So we're going to go with this. How much do retirees actually spend on uncertain healthcare costs? So we got this printed off right here, and we're just going to give you the. It's only 6. This is easy. It's a brief. It's not a deep dive into it, but we're just going to. So we'll just share with you some of my findings, and then we're going to go into why this is a problem, and we're going to go into the crux of the matter. All right. So what we're going to see here is right here. As a result, 65-year-old households pay on average $67,000 in out-of-pocket expenses over the remaining lifetime. That does not include premiums, but does include health care or long-term care. So pretty interesting, right? Yeah, I like so. And then we go down here to data methodology, and we say, okay, good. They use the HRS Health and Retirement Survey from University of Michigan. That's all good. All right, so we're going down there, and then they got models. Oh, that's all good. That's all good. We're going to keep going down here, and we show you that projected lifetime health spending is $310,000 if you're the mean, the average, of which $243,000 is covered by insurance. So that looks all good to me. And then if you're the 90th percentile, $642 is the expenditures, of which $504,000 is covered by insurance. All good. I like it. I'm like, yeah, that's good. But anyway, we're going to keep going down here, and I'm going to show you something here. Here's the references, okay? And so we're going to go down to right here. They reference McKierney, Melissa McKierney, Matthew Rutledge, and Sarah Ellen King from 2017. How much does out-of-pocket medical expending eat away at retirement income? So let's check this out. And why do I say it? Because the very first reference point is that study we're going to look at. Interesting. So let's check that out. Right here in the first paragraph, the second sentence. Although largest shares of the expenses, healthcare expenses, are due to predictable insurance premiums, retirees can pay sizable additional out-of-pocket expenses as well. And again, we see that little number 1. That means that is the first study they're referencing. So I said, okay, let's look at said study, shall we? The paper, how much does out-of-pocket medical spending eat away at retirement income? So let's go down to what their findings were. Melissa McInerney, Matthew Rutledge, and Sarah Ellen King, shall we? All right, so we're going to come down and we're going to see the very beginning. I'm going to wrap this up in a nice little bow for you here in a second because I want to set the premise. This project uses the 2002-2014 Health and Retirement Study, University of Michigan, to calculate post out-of-pocket benefit ratios. Benefit ratios defined as the share of either Social Security benefits or total income available for non-medical spending. So what they're using is they're using the data from the HRS to say how much is your out-of-pocket medical cost relative to your income. Okay, seems harmless, does it not? Let me share with you what's going on here. Because their conclusions is they found the average out-of-pocket spending was $4,200 per year in 2014. This paper was published in 2017. It was referenced in 2022 of August. All right, so it's one of the things. With approximately 2/3 of it spent on premiums. In 2014, the average retiree had only 65% of their Social Security benefits remaining after out-of-pocket expenses, and only 82% of their total income. All right, so I'm painting the pitch here. Using the HRS data from the University of Michigan Health and Retirement Survey, these people are saying basically a third of your Social Security benefit went to pay for your out-of-pocket medical expenses. And frankly, that is before long-term care kicked in. So the previous article I just referenced was with long-term care, did not include premiums. This is before. So you can see they're setting up a very scary context here of, oh my goodness, that paper said you're going to spend all this money on long-term care. This paper says you're already losing a third of your Social Security to out-of-pocket premiums, which does include long-term care. Let's see. Nearly 1/5 of retirees had less than 50% of their Social Security income remaining after out-of-pocket spending. Post out-of-pocket benefit ratios, spending versus income, increase concurrently. All right, this one we'll talk about. The policy implications are, remember, ratio, spending versus income. With less than 2/3 of their Social Security benefits available for non-medical consumption and limited income outside of Social Security for much of the elderly population, many retirees likely feel that making ends meet is difficult. All right, so this is just silly in any kind of academic thing. With limited income outside of Social Security, well, we're going to challenge that here in a second. For much of the elderly, define much, many retirees likely feel. All right, so this should never be used in an academic thing. Let's see the proof of that. There isn't any. I mean, what is many? Define it, quantify it. What is limited? Quantify it. What is much? How do we know that they likely feel this? We know the exact opposite. So until we quantify, this is all just fear porn crap, and I hate it. All right. So anyway, again, this is based on the assumption of the HRS data is legit because we go back. This project uses the 2002 to 2014 HRS, Health and Retirement Survey. So hang tight. All right. So here given that a high share of Social Security beneficiaries rely exclusively on Social Security income, benefit adequacy is a crucial issue, i.e. how much they're spending on their Social Security relative to the medical cost. Define high. Do we have any proof that a high share, because we don't know what high means. It could mean high is, it's completely subjective, and an academic paper should not be subjective. Given that a high share of Social Security beneficiaries rely exclusively on Social Security income, and there's no thing here to prove that. They're just stating this as if it's a fact, and it's certainly not. And I'm going to show you again why it's even worse than that. All right, let's see here. The final section of this article concludes that on average, less than 2/3 of Social Security benefits and only about 80% of total retirement income are available for non-medical spending. Again, let's see some proof of that. All right, so let's go into something why my whole issue on this stuff. Because if we're going to do a benefit analysis, a ratio of your ability to spend money relative to your expenses, well, we have to determine two things. One is the expenditures and one is the income. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. While the analysis with respect to OASI, that's old age survivor income. So remember, Social Security, OASDI, old age survivor disability income. We're getting rid of the DX and the D here and just going with the OASI. All right, that's Social Security retirement income. Provides one measure of the adequacy of Social Security benefits that does not capture the total resources available to retired households. This study, therefore, examines the percentage of total income. Again, so we got to figure out what total income is. Social Security benefits, as well as income from other sources such as pension, government transfers, and capital income. I challenge the government transfers, but we'll go with it. And income from 401k plans and IRAs that remain after spending on medical costs. Interesting. So, and then they got a number 11. So we're going to scroll down here. We're going to see, okay, cool, right here, number 11. So where are they getting that information? Number 11, total personal income is a sum of earnings, pensions, and benefits from Social Security disability, and supplemental security income. That's basically if you're impoverished, you get some benefits from Social Security that you don't get at retirement. Unemployment, workers' comp, and other government programs, as well as capital and other income. So I'm just wondering, other government programs. That'd be transfer payments. That Section 8 housing, for instance. That's not showing up as are they using it as an income source? Probably not. But if you're getting free rent and you only have a certain amount of income, but you don't have to pay rent, and you're on Medicaid, you don't have any health care premiums, that might be a whole different ballgame, right? Hey, be it as it may, I'm not even challenging that because I don't need to, but just as an FYI, food stamps are a government transfer, and that doesn't get included in income sources. Are they doing that here? I highly suspect they are not, but be it as it may, food stamps, Medicaid, Section 8 housing, supplemental things for your oil and heating stuff. There's a million things that aren't considered income from transfer payments. Be it as it may. We'll assume they're using that. I can almost guarantee you're not. But anyway, it doesn't matter because I'm going to show you here. Let's see. Correspondence with RAND researchers indicate that their version of the HRS does not include any income from IRA or 401k distributions. Are you hearing that, my friends? Correspondence from RAND says, hey, we don't even use 401k or IRA distributions, yet they're saying right here, income from 401k plans and IRAs. So how they square in this circle? Oh, this study adds 401k wealth imputed by Guzman, Steinmeier, and that person, and Monell to IRA. So they're adding 401k wealth, and they're adding it to IRA from the RAND HRS. Now, we'll just assume it's on the up and up, and I'm not saying it's nefarious. I'm just saying, are they getting the actual data? Because you can get the data pretty easily on IRA accounts and 401k accounts just by looking at the tax tables from the IRS. Tons of data in there. So I'm not sure why they're using the HRS. Just go straight to the freaking horse's mouth, the IRS. You could easily find that out. But be doesn't. HRS is a survey. The IRS is not a survey other than actual data that is recorded on 5498, 8606, all that stuff. Just throwing out there. Anyway, but it's even worse because they take this data, they're imputing the 401k wealth from these people, and I haven't looked at this. Maybe I will here. I'm not going to do in this video. They add it to Monell from 2016, and then what do? They annuitize the total to calculate the potential defined contribution income. This potentially annuity income is added to the total income measured by the income from RAND. The average post out-of-pocket ratio without adding a potential annuity income is only about 3% lower. So they're basically saying by adding the annuity income, they're increasing the income by about 3%. That's not what we're showing elsewhere. Because, because only about a third of the sample has potential defined contribution income. Though the difference is greater for a group with any defined contributions. All right. Well, they say defined benefit income. Huh? That doesn't make any sense. See, this whole thing is suspect from point A. The average post out-of-pocket expense ratio without adding in potential annuity income is only about 3% lower, 3 percentage points lower, because only about a third of the sample has potential defined contribution income, i.e. defined contribution accounts, IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, TSPs that went into an IRA. Really? Though the difference is greater for the group with any defined benefit income. Interesting. That doesn't make any sense because it should be the group is different for people with defined contributions, unless what they're trying to say is if you have a pension, you have 9 percentage points higher than people who didn't have a pension of income. Either way, let's keep going. Look up this by what that was previously referenced article, and we see here. We just simply type in how are they defining annuity, and the income. They say DC income, as defined contribution, your 401ks, and they'll go into an IRA, is calculated by projecting current plan balances to retirement, assuming no further contributions, and assuming that households then annuitize it. Okay. Get this nice little tidbit. Because defined contribution participants must purchase an actuarially unfair annuity and face low annuity rates from falling interest rates. The shift to DC plans has produced a decline in ratio of income to wealth. So, but they don't have to. That word must is not correct. That's not correct at all. In fact, if they would have done this in 2000, whenever this was written, 2016, they would have missed off on some significant growth in their retirement accounts. Paper references these guys from 2008. And again, they project DC wealth to retirement, assume it is then to be annuitized. At retirement, participants are assumed to purchase a single life immediate annuity with their IRA accounts, essentially. But although few households actually do that, we're going to use it as a proxy for a sustainable withdrawal rate. The annuity calculation is based on historical data from Annuity Shopper. Interestingly, she didn't mention, or that people didn't mention that article, but they have done other where they annuitize the wealth, and they start with an annuity that's inflation adjusted. There's no, I mean, I haven't looked at this month, but basically my career, there's been very limited upside to doing an inflation adjusted fixed or SPIA, what's called an income annuity. Don't do that. Now, again, look at your own circumstance, but generally speaking, for you to actually, the discount on the front end to take an inflation adjusted annuity as opposed to a fixed rate is significant. It takes you a long time. We're talking, I can't remember, like 17, 18 years for it to actually make up the difference. So, just don't, again, you should do what you got to do. But if you're going to do this income annuity, as these guys say, and you do an inflation adjusted one, you're going to get a significant discount on your income for the basic next 10 to 15, if not even longer. I can't remember, but it's a long time. So not only they're annuitizing your defined contribution plan, they're annuitizing it, and they were doing it an inflation adjusted mechanism, which gives you a significant discount on your income today. It's stupid, and yet these are the articles. You see how they like. This one feeds to this one, which feeds this one, feeds this one. Look at Michael Morley. You ever heard of the Michael Morley, Michelson Morley, excuse me, Michelson Morley, I think it's Michelson experiment. They proved the ether didn't exist, all right? But they also proved that the earth doesn't spin, all right? So what are we going to do? Now, Einstein came along and he said, oh, no, with the theory, special theory of relativity, where light moves in a constant rate, essentially, that changed everything. With photons, the bending of gravity, the bending of time, the whole thing. So anyway, the point being is all this stuff, it just feeds on itself, feeds on itself, feeds on itself. You're like, now we're back to saying, well, did Michelson Morley, was it ever disproved? You see what I'm saying? And you're like, well, not really. So if it wasn't ever disproved, i.e., what if light travels east to west or west to east? Does that change the speed of light? We know for a fact light changes the speed just if it goes through a medium, water, for instance. We know it slows down. That magically the photons that are moving, they slow down by going through the medium, and then they just pick back up, and magically, it's just, you see what I'm saying? This is what happens, man. Well, this guy said that, and that guy was smart, Einstein, or who, I don't even care who it is, Michelson Morley, I don't care, Maxwell, you can use whoever you want. Alicia Munell, whoever these people are who wrote this, whatever this lady's name was, I forgot, what was her name? Melissa McInerney, you can say all this all day long. Well, she proved that, thus I'm going to use that as if the proof was solid. It's not solid, man. And that's the problem. You have to start from scratch. You can't use this stuff to say retirement planning is based on that, and that is suspect because the very genesis of this model is suspect, if that makes sense. The very genesis of the theory, special theory of relativity, is suspect. Doesn't mean it's disproven, it just means it's suspect, and to use it as if it's sacrosanct don't do that. Don't use Alicia Munell's stuff as a sacrosanct, and then it goes to Melissa McInerney, and then it goes to this Greek person. Well, where did Alicia Munell get it? Oh, she got it from other people previous to her. You see what I'm saying? And this is the problem with retirement planning. They do this all the time. All the time. We're now talking about the retirement spending smile from Kitsis, Blanchett, and Fow. I think Fow was on there. I can't remember. Okay, I like it. It's not sacrosanct. It's not God's spoken true and beautiful word, for heaven's sake. There's a lot of issues with the retirement spending smile. And I've had debates with people who just refuse to entertain the idea that your spending may go down in retirement. Now they're starting to get that, but now they're saying, oh yeah, but it comes back up because of retirement spending smile. I said, have you ever dove into the study and looked and actually use it with actual data to see if that's true? And then this one guy said, well, I was on a panel with Blanchett who did it. I said, I don't give two craps if you're on. I like Blanchett. He and I have emailed each other before. I interviewed Wade Fowl. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's in of itself suspect when it comes to the foundation of retirement planning. It's crazy. And this is the problem with retirement planning. And a problem with any kind of evidence thing is like the evidence is suspect if the origination of the evidence was suspect. And suspect doesn't mean it's nefarious, doesn't mean they're trying to get one up on it. It just says more thought needs to go into it, as opposed to just saying, oh, I'm writing this article based on Alicia Winnell, who's writing this article based on, I forgot the people she heard. Actually, I like that guy. It was another, I can't remember. Anyway, a Gooseman. Oh, so doggone frustrating. All right. Love to hear your thoughts. I know this is a long video. Don't care. I just had to get off my chest. We'll see you.